Welcome to Foreignness and Friendship, a series of podcasts. We present a number of bonus tracks connected to our radio show on Tremella Radio. You can listen to conversations with artists and activists, reports from festivals and other larger events, essays, reviews, poetry, and letters. We see ourselves as part of a non-binary rebellion with the intention of creating a language and a human condition beyond race, ethnicity, gender, sex, and class. Tear down these walls, dismantle the statues of power, and meet the other with an open spirit. In this bonus track from Foreignness and Friendship, you will meet an artist from South Africa. His name is Libhongo Mbiko. In September 2021, we were back in international circulation in East London by the Indian Ocean in the Eastern Cape. Here we met with Libhongo Mbiko. He is an artist from Mthanzane, a township located outside the coastal town of East London in South Africa. The conversation with Libhongo Mbiko took place on September 15th and was originally sent on Tremella Radio October 26th, 2021. We are right now in East London, more precisely in Quigney, a central beach area of East London. Here is a long walking promenade along the water, popular for weekend relaxation. Our appointment with Libhongo Mbiko is at 10 o'clock in the morning. He's an artist with focus on writing and theatre, but he also conducts teaching and training in art for school children at the World Art Center in Mthanzane, located 15 kilometers outside of East London. We know Libhongo Mbiko from seeing him in an interview on Sunday Sessions with Google, a TV talk show on Keith Ngesi Digital TV earlier this year. As many others, we have, during the pandemic, been glued to our computer screens and trying to follow what goes on in other parts of the world. The host of Sunday Sessions, Gugu Mfale, is making weekly interviews with people in the area of lifestyle, art, and culture. We are in East London, which is in South Africa, and we're meeting with a gentleman here who is called Libhongo Mbiko, if I pronounce it right, otherwise he will correct me in a minute. He is a writer and a director and also conducting trainings for younger artists. But I will let him introduce himself so we also can hear his own words.
My name is Libhongo Mbiko. I'm a writer, I'm a director, I'm a drama facilitator, and I'm also a storyteller. I'm based in East London, but I'm working in Tanzania Center, but I'm working around here in East London, facilitating children, drama, and art. Yeah.
So the art center in Tanzania, can you tell me about what is the background for that art center? Has it been there for a long time, and what kind of activities are going on there?
Okay, I'm not sure how long the center has been there, but the activities that are going on there, there's music, there are artists other than kids who are doing music, drama, there's a band, there are people who are doing the visual artwork, and there are people who are doing fashion designers and other stuff. So I'm coming from a company called the World of Art Movement, so there we are doing different art forms that we facilitate in children, like dance, poetry, music, language and literature, djembe drums and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, those are the activities that are happening there in Tanzania Center. Yeah.
And what is your background? For
Okay.
have you been trained as an artist, or are you kind of self-made?
Okay.
How was your history?
Yeah. Okay. I would say that I'm self-made because I started drama in high school. I was that kid who was always like making people laugh, and I was that kid who was very I would say bubbly at school because I was talking a lot and I was very energetic. So my creative arts teacher once suggested that I should, do drama, because in creative arts I was that kid who was always active when it comes to the performing arts. So he once suggested that I should do drama. I know, but I didn't take it serious until I did. I was invited to be part of a drama. I think there was a competition happening, and then I was invited, and then I played a character. I think there was a character who was very rude and who was very racist. But when I played that character, I got a stand-up ovation of that character, and that's how I took drama serious, and that's how I got introduced into the entertainment. So I went to Tanzania Center and I met with, there was a lady who was called Quigney, who was my drama facilitator. And then from there, I learned a lot from her. She was the one who trained me. She introduced me into drama, and that's how I fell in love with drama. That's how I started to take drama serious. And then from high school, I just did drama. I did not go to school until this year, 2021. I decided to go to Sonosakuba Institution for the Performing Arts, and I learned drama there. But I think now, because of the school was just starting, so because of the pandemic, and the school couldn't have drama anymore. So, but I'm still working in the school facilitating children from there, because they scouted me because of my dedication to drama. So I'm facilitating recreational children there. So yeah.
When you were growing up and you were telling me that you were kind of this kid, talked a lot, and then that was kind of a stepping stone for going into artistic activity. How did the people around you react to that? Or how did your parents react to it? Is it in South Africa an acceptable thing to do, or does parents try to persuade their kids to do something else than art?
My experience in art, parents find it hard to accept children to follow their passion in doing art, because they take art as a hobby. They don't take art as serious as, in America they take art as serious, and from other countries, they always say art is a hobby, so you should maybe, try the academic side, maybe go and be a doctor, go study for being a doctor. But they never really take art as serious, because even my parents, they find it hard to accept that I'm actually doing art. I'm actually an artist. I had to stand up for myself, and I had to show them that this is what I want, and this is what I want to be, and this is how I want to live my life, and this is my lifestyle. I'm an artist. I'm doing drama, and so they find it hard. So when I was a kid, when I told them that I want to do drama, they suggested that I should not do drama. I should just study for being a doctor, because I was very smart at school, and I got the highest mark. So they told me I should maybe pursue my career on being a doctor. So I told them that I want to do drama. So children, that's what we, as I said before, that I'm from a company called World of Art Movement. So we are trying to teach young children that they could make a living in art. They could be whatever they want to be, because I believe that we are born of gifts, we are born of talent, and not all children will be successful academically. So we are trying to enforce and trying to bury this seed of having children to believe and think that they can actually make a living in art. They can be, famous people if they want to be one of the famous people, their idols and other stuff. Because when I grew up, I used to watch Karate Kid, and I used to see those young boys acting and other stuff, and I would wonder how are they actually doing it? How did they get there? And in South Africa, you find. It's rare to find a young kid or a young person, in TV or in theater doing drama. So you find it hard, and I believe that it's how the mentality and the society has buried that thing in us that art is a hobby. So we should not take art as serious as it is. So yeah, it's here in South Africa. It's like that, especially in the Black community. Yeah.
So you are trying to strengthen these kids that you're working with, also to meet these expectations.
Yeah.
Is it something that you're talking about, or are you focusing on just strengthening their artistic expression?
It's something that I want to give. It's something that I wished I was given when I was young. So I'm trying to advocate for art. I'm trying to build this mentality in children that they can be whoever they want to be. If a kid wants to be if he or she visualizes himself as the best performer, as Jay-Z, or as John Carney, as those famous people, they can be those people. So I'm trying to advocate that in art you can make a living. In art you can be whoever that you want to be. It's because in art actually, when I first teach children with drama, I actually tell them that in art you actually find who you are, because you're experiencing your body, your emotion, your personality. Because in drama, in finding character, you have to know who your character is, where he's coming from, where the character was born. So even a child, when he or she actually learns that she finds who she is, and she finds where she is coming from, her background, and other stuff. So in drama you find who you are. And I experienced that a lot in children, because they actually coming back to me and said, thank you, now I know how do I react when I'm angry, what's making me angry, and because we are dealing with children who are coming from different backgrounds. Other children, are depressed, others are depressed about what's happening in their homes, and so when they perform on stage, when they learn drama, they actually find healing, because they actually find who they are, and how do they react in some certain things and other stuff. They get to see their other version of themselves.
So this is also, what art can be used for.
Yeah.
But that also means, I think, that art is also a rather specific thing.
Yeah.
Because in another kind of career, for example, as an engineer, then you will not learn about anger. But art is kind of both personal and professional somehow.
Yeah. Because I actually didn't want to go to school to learn about drama, because in 2017 I once performed in a festival, and I was awarded for the best drama performer. And from there I realized that why not give this thing that I have to other children, and and show them that in art you can be successful in art. You can have whatever that you can have a big house. You can make a living with art. You can have a big house. You can drive big cars. With art, doing art. So I'm trying to be that example to those young kids.
Why do you think that you chose this? Because you have this educational approach to art, and you have this engagement in these kids. What? Because you could also have said, okay, I want to be an artist, and I'll just pursue my art, and direct plays
Yeah.
and write books? Or why do you think that you also are doing this educational thing? What is it in you that gives you that interest?
Yeah. I don't know, but my aunt told me one day that when I was growing up, I used to when I was playing with other kids, I used to be that one person who was always holding a book and trying to be a teacher. So I think that thing, it started from a very young age. So I just realized it now, and it's now that she told me that when you were young, you used to hold a book and then you used to teach. You used to play schools, and you used to be that teacher who was always teaching children. You should do this, you should do this, you should do this. This is where's your homework. So it started from a very young age for me to. I guess it was a calling, if I would say it in the right way. It's actually a calling for me, to teach those children. But I never thought that one day I would be, a drama facilitator. I never even visualized myself as a drama facilitator or teaching children. So it's a calling for me. Yeah.
So it kind of came
Yeah, it
out
just
of your
came.
upbringing,
Yeah,
so to
yeah.
speak.
It
Yeah, it's
just
often
came.
like that, of course. You can't necessarily explain it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what if we can talk about what is it that when you write something yourself, or
Yeah.
when you direct a play, what
Yeah.
kind of theater and what kind of writing is it that you're doing?
For me, I wouldn't say what kind of, because I'm still trying to find myself in writing, because I started writing in 2019. I started having these ideas, trying to put some. I was also assisting when we were given tasks at Tanzania Center, when I was still there, when I was still a child, when I was still learning drama. When we were given a task to do maybe some sort of scene or a story, I was that one person who was actually trying to make the direction. Okay, let's do this. How about we do this? I was always that person who was giving idea. How about we do this story? How about we doing? Let's do the story this way. When those ideas, I always had stories in my mind. I want to do, I wish I could do this story, but I don't know how am I going to do it. For me, stories, it just came first. It just comes as an idea. I'm not sure where it just came out of nowhere, especially when I'm writing. When I'm writing, I write, and then in the process of me writing that story, there's another story. There's just a scene that triggers another story, and then I give that story a time. I just put my book aside, I just put my computer aside, and then I think about that story. And then when I get to that story, I dig deep into that story, and then I just leave it there, and then I continue with the story I'm writing. And then when I'm done with the story, I'm coming back to that story. But mostly I write emotional plays. My previous play was Till Death Do Us Part. It was actually about a woman who lost her child, and now who is trying to heal, but it's difficult for her to heal because that was her first child, and women deal with that a lot, and most of the people they don't. They just say, you're gonna be fine. You'll have another child. Give it a try again. But they don't actually see how that woman is suffering. That woman is trying to find healing. My story mostly about what other people are going through there that we as the society we don't actually pay attention to. So it's those stories that I'm writing.
I think I remember I saw this. You were interviewed by, she's called, I think, Google and
Yeah,
Fanny,
Google, yeah.
who has this TV shows which
Yeah.
called Sunday Sessions. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think in that interview you were talking about that you had written a book who has been made into a play, or do I remember correctly?
Oh yeah,
or-
yeah. Okay. There was a book called Sihle Tales. Sorry, Sihle Tales, the tale. It was written by Quigney Beach. So I did a one-man show from that book, but I didn't actually write that book. So it was the author, who actually gave me the script.
Okay, so you adapted it to
Yeah,
theater, so to speak.
yeah. So I'm the one who actually took that book on stage, and when she was launching that book, I was the one who was playing the main character, and the experience of that character, and actually telling the story of that young boy she wrote about on that book. So I actually took the book on stage.
Okay,
Yeah,
in that way, that was
that was how it happened.
So what is the difference for you between that? Because here there's somebody has written something,
Yeah.
and then you adapt it to theater.
Yeah.
But the other things you're talking about when you're writing, then you are writing yourself and then making it on stage.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between this? Does it feel different, or does it,
Yeah,
is it
yeah.
different experience for you? Or?
It's actually like from my play till death do us apart. It was my first time playing the character that I wrote, and I usually play character from other writers. So it was a different experience for me because writing. I write this character and I know who this character is, and then I believe that once you write that character and then you give it to an actor, that actor will interpret that character different than you as a writer, because you as a writer that character the way you know it, and then you tell the actor, okay, this is my character, this is who my character is, and then for an actor he takes from you and then he builds that character. It's very different because in that book I was actually directed by her, the play, but I actually
So we had a conversation.
Yeah, we had a
how
conversation
it was
about
going
how it's going, because at that time when I first played, it was my first one-man show that I played, and I performed that play. I still perform it now. I performed it in different places. It was that experience for me that I'm playing Sihle, and I know Sihle not more than her, because she knows Sihle more than I think I know Sihle, and then I know Sihle more than I think she knows Sihle. So it's that exchange, and it's how it's how I believe the art is, the beauty of art is, because we're experiencing, Sihle is one person, but I know my version of Sihle, and Sihle's writer know the version of Sihle, so that's the beauty of the writing and the acting. Yeah.
But I think this is also kind of a definition of theater.
Yeah.
Theater has that kind of cooperation between different actors or agents, which is different from just being a writer.
Yeah. Being a writer, you first, I'm not sure if other writers actually doing that, but I actually try to dig deep down about each and every character that I write about, who she is, where she's coming from, how was her childhood, all those things, and then I spend most of the time on each character's personality, and I try to write about how is she reacting from other situation that she's going through, or other situation that she's around in, and then it's then that I know my characters. And now when I wrote that, when I know who my character is, and then I'm writing about that character, there are things that I I change from my story. After I just write the story, I just go with the flow of the story. I just immerse in the story. And then when I'm done with the story, I'm coming back to each and every character. And then when I know this character now, I'm going back to my writing, and then I'm changing other parts, because I believe that character won't react the same way as because this is who that character is. So yeah.
How do you see your future? Is there something you want to achieve, or is there some direction you want to go in?
Yeah.
how do you picture that if you have to look onward?
Yeah. From now on, I'm planning to have my own studio whereby I will have my own theater and film production because right now I'm trying to to write my short film. I'm trying to get on screen
Okay,
now.
you're also working with film.
I'm trying to get on screen now. I'm trying to be versatile on both screen and in theater because I spend a lot of time in theater, so I just want to experience now how screen is. I once acted on screen, but I've never really directed a film before, a movie. So I've never even wrote a screenplay or anything, so this is my first time writing a screenplay. But I want to have my own theater, and there's no theater in Tanzania, and I just want to be the first person who actually builds a theater in Tanzania, and having theater, and I want to have my film hub whereby I will recruit writers from schools and writers from because there are other writers that are just staying there with their script. So for me, building that film hub will give an opportunity to those people and create partnership and collaboration with the writers, directors and actors from here in East London and in Tanzania, and I believe by doing that it's when that those kids will take even art seriously, because I will go to schools and say, who's the writer here, who's the actor, who's the and then I'll take them from there. So what I want to do is that I want to workshop those people, and just give them an opportunity to collaborate with themselves, and then produce a film or a production in theater. And so that's what I want to do. That's how I want my future to be.
Sounds interesting because I was also told if I talk to theater people and film people, then it seems that there's a big difference of how you write for film and how you write for theater, because film is more about visuals. Like when the theater is often about characters somehow.
Okay. How do
you see that?
Okay. Even when now I did my research about I never there was no person who told me how to write a screenplay, so I had to find a screenplay format on YouTube, on the internet, and there's a difference because now in film there's a camera, and then there's there are wardrobe people, there are there are different there are a lot of things that are happening there. And then when you give someone that script, or maybe a cameraman, or someone who will be producing that script, it's different when it comes to writing, because you have to also write having a camera in mind, having a cameraman in mind, because a cameraman will actually want the direction. Okay, how am I going to work with this? How am I going to move? How is the camera going to, But when it comes to theater, you work around stage movement. Around stage movement. Upstage, right? Upstage, downstage. All of those movements, and then it's different, because even in theater, you tend to focus most of the time with the movement. Now she walks out, she exits, and then all of those things. And then when you write on a screenplay, you write that exit, and then the format is different. The format is different. Even when you give a director your screenplay or your play script, it's a different format. The director will actually want to know where the location is, what's happening there in that location, where is this scene happening, and what is going on here in this scene. So it's having that visual, having that visual aspect, or that vision, and I actually explain this to most of the people who I'm facilitating, that when you write, you have to have a clear vision of what you see, and and you have to be able to also be able to put it on paper, because you will not when you send the script to a director, you will not actually be there. You will always be there to say, okay, this is what's happening in the script. This is what's happening in this scene. So the director will actually read the script, and the direction are also important, in the dialogue and the other stuff, and the format is the most important thing, when it comes to writing, and even the act 1, act 2, act 3, those kind of things.
Yeah, it has to be in the text, not in the
yeah.
head. Of course. And that is, of course, complicated.
Yeah.
A lot of writers
Yeah.
has that.
Yeah.
I talked to a writer some time ago, and she says that she wants when she reads something herself, she wants to be secure. She wants to be in the company of a writer who knows what she's doing, so to speak. And that, I think, is also what we're trying to say. That it has to be in the text, because if it is not in the text, it is not there.
It's not there. Yeah. I once figured something out that to be the best writer or to be the best director, you have to have some sort of an audience in mind, or the reader in mind, when you are writing, or when you are maybe directing and other stuff. You have to have you have to be your first audience. You have to be your first reader, and you should actually take yourself as that reader. That if I'm reading this play, or if I'm reading this script, and and you think that you have to have in mind that maybe it's someone else's script, and then how would you react from the script? Would you understand this writer, what she was trying to say here, what he was trying to make you see, because it's all about the imagination, the power of imagination. So if you are able to give your reader that imagination, that vision that you wanted that reader to see, and if you are able to capture the emotions of the reader, the emotion of your audience, I believe you are in a good place, or you are in a good path, because I as a writer, I believe in having the emotions of my readers, or the emotions of my audience here in hand. So when I want to make my audience laugh, I have to know how am I going to actually make them laugh. When I want them to to be in deep pain, and in that depression zone, maybe my character is depressed, I have to be able to make them feel that pain, that and be there in my story, to capture their emotions, so that when they're actually reading, they would not get bored and maybe do something else. They would actually want to see what's going to happen next, what is going on.
Yeah, but I think this is important also, because if the reader gets bored, then he or she is already gone, so to speak. So you have to maintain this intensity, or this relationship that the reader is continuously there, and also that's a reason to be there.
You have to make them want to see what's going to happen next. What's going to happen? It's okay. So this is what's happening. So what's going to happen next? What is this character going to do now? Since she or he is in this situation, and how is going to overcome this situation and other stuff. And when I'm actually facilitating the writing side of script, I'm actually telling those young writers that each scene have to be another scene, the next scene path, because you have to make me want to see what's going to happen next, what's going to happen in scene 2, how's what's the situation, how is my character paying the price from this situation and from the choices and the decision that my character made. So it's that part, it's that thing, that what's going to happen next. Okay, so we are here now, what's going to happen next? Well, we're here now, what's going to happen next? So each scene or each chapter must open a path for the next chapter and other stuff, so that the story would be a moving train instead of a train that's just standing from one place, stopping and moving and stopping and moving again.
Okay, that's interesting. I think it's interesting to use oneself as a critic, because if you get bored of your own story, there's a big chance that everybody else is also losing interest in.
And it's also important. It's also important to to write the first draft of your play or your screenplay, and write another one and experience, because once you write those, the story will actually build itself. You actually see, the empty path, because some other writers just write, write one draft, and then they would like, okay, you see, it was hard for me to actually finish this first draft, so I'm not actually going to write another draft. And it's actually, it's helpful for, you are writing from a different perspective, and you are writing from a different mindset, because now you know what's happening in the story. It's like you're editing in writing. I always write 3 drafts in my story. When I write a script, I always write 3 drafts. I write the first draft, and then I put it aside, and then I write the second one, and then I put it aside, and then I write the third one. Because when I reach to the third script, I actually see now, the empty part of my story, and then I actually write from a reader's perspective, that if I was to edit the script, why would I take out what would I put in, what would I take out, what would I put in, those kinds of things.
So is there anything to conclude our conversation? Is there anything you would like to say as kind of maybe an advice to other people who grow up and want to be an artist? Or do you have a statement or a motto you want to share?
Okay. My advice to people is that, do something that makes you happy, because at the end of the day, you have to live your life the way you want to live your life. And if you want to be, anything that you want to be, you can be anything that you want to be. You just have to live your life, and you should not, put pressure on yourself, because everything in your life happens for a reason. So if you feel as if like you are under pressure, you must just relax, because your time is not, your time is not here. When your time comes, you will feel it. And you should always do something that makes you happy. Be who you are, live your life how you want to live it. And to young kids who are experiencing that mentality, who have been buried to that mentality that art is a hobby. Art is not a hobby. Art is actually art is a calling. Art is it's lifestyle. It's how you want to live your life, because if you're an artist, you actually find who you are, and you're not living, you are just living in I want to say, maybe you're living your life in another way, because people find it weird for if maybe you're an artist and then you're wearing this kind of clothes, and then they'll find you weird. They'll be like, what are you wearing? Because I remember me and my friends once were vintage, and we went to this event, and there was other granny there who said, what is this? We used to wear this kind of clothes, during our golden days, and it's art is it's lifestyle. So live your life how you want to live it. Be yourself. Be who you want to be, and then the rest is history.
Will solve itself.
Find who you are. The most important part is to just find who you are. Find your voice. Find yourself, and then everything will just come to you. That's my advice to people.
Thank you very much for the conversation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Here ends our conversation with Libhongo Mbiko. For those among our listeners not very familiar with South African society, a township is an underdeveloped, racial, segregated urban area created during apartheid, reserved for the non-white population. They are located in the periphery or outside main city areas. In the ideological period of apartheid, from the 1940s and onward, townships were created and black people were evicted from the white areas in the cities, not only blacks, but also colored people and Indians. In post-apartheid South Africa, townships still exist in all parts of the country. Some areas in the townships has undergone rapid development and are populated by black middle-class families. But many township areas face lots of social problems and tension. bad infrastructure and poor planning. The schools in townships are often in a bad shape, overcrowded, and facing challenges of crime, violence, and very young children being recruited into gangs. The largest township is Soweto, located in the southern part of Johannesburg, where 1.3 million people live, while the population of Mdantsane in East London is approximately 155,000. You have listened to a bonus track by Foreignness and Friendship. If you have built up an appetite for more, then you can follow us on thewhiteafricanblogspot.com and walk in our footsteps by stepping into In My Footstep WordPress.com. We broadcast new episodes of our radio show every second Tuesday every month on Tremella Radio.dk or Tremella Radio.eu at 1900 hours Central European Time